Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Thanks for coming. I'm Dan. That's Kyle. Come on, you're supposed to wave. There you go. All right. Nice job. We're going to get this down eventually one of these days. So, hey, everybody. Thanks for coming to another rendition of the Votacall webinar series with your hosts, Dan and Kyle. We are, as always, going to give this just a minute or so as we see people start to pile in here. We did see some people pop in really quickly right on the nose. So thank you all for being prompt. We do love that. I think it was my grandfather used to say, if you're not early, you're late. But hey, you know, on time counts too. But we will wait for some of the late folks. I do understand in today's world of meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting online here, you know, people do kind of stroll in a couple minutes late. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to start firing those off right now. And if you wanted to just tell us anything, you can do that too. And then right now I'll seize this moment to tell you guys a few things. So first of all, if you run down at the bottom there, as you look underneath, you know, depending on what link you're on, or sorry, excuse me, which little icon you've clicked, you see one there called links. There's people, polls, questions, chat. And chat is probably disabled for you guys, but questions, feel free to go ahead and click on that, fire it off to us, ask us anything you want. The only two people who can see them are Kyle and myself. So I guess ask anything you want that you only want Kyle and I to see. But if you just want Kyle to see it, you should ask him later, because I'm going to see it too. And next to that is polls. And, you know, normally we ask people what they want to see. We do happen to have some of these lined up for the next few months here that we're going to show you. So we thought we'd make this poll a little bit more fun. Some of you may have noticed that Kyle and I are not in our usual t-shirts. And that is because it is starting to get chilly outside, especially up in Maine where Kyle is. So, you know, this is my favorite time of the year and probably my favorite fashion of the year. You know, so I'm known to wear a vest in the summer. So a vest in the fall is much more appropriate. But our poll this month is just what's your favorite season? We thought we'd try to learn a little something about you guys. So if you just want to let us know, it also kind of lines up with, you know, first day of fall was just a few days ago. So we thought we'd just have a little fun this month. Next to that, you'll see a tab for links. If you don't see the tab, then you can click in apps. And then from there, you will move over to links. As you go down the links, we have a few different ones in there. There's one for the My Votacall portal, and we will be referencing that link in just a little while. As always, every single month here. That's really, in some ways, that's what this whole series is about, understanding the portal and the things that are available to you guys to have a little fun. Below that, you'll see our Votacall One training library, a place of training videos. There is one, you know, on a lot of the features here that we review in the webinar series. Keep moving down. You'll see one to reach our Votacall support team. Please never forget that Votacall support is 24/7, 365, and available to all of you guys for free. So we are a managed service. So anything you need, especially as we go through this today, if you think to yourself, man, that's fantastic, I really want to do that, ping support. Put a question in the chat and we'll take care of it for you. Just below that one is a Votacall webinar. So if you want to see any of our past webinars, there's a link to that page. There's one for our customer love, which I would love to see some of you guys click on. And you know what I'll do? I'll actually go ahead and just throw that up there. You know, just there it is down there. If you guys want to know what our customer love program is about, we are not one of the big box stores. We are not a giant marketing engine like some of the other voice over IP providers out there. A lot of you guys have come to us from some of those big providers for our support and for our other things. But because our marketing budget is not the same as theirs, we find the best way to tell our story is to have customers tell it. So Customer Love is actually a page dedicated to you guys telling your story about your experience with Votacall. And we do love it when you guys do it. We've got a little something on the Votacall values, which is what keeps us together. And last but not least, a little bit, if you haven't joined us on LinkedIn, we'd love it if you run over there and, you know, smash that like button.
The follow button.
Sorry, is it a follow button? Yeah. Smash it anyway.
Smash it.
You know, don't break your keyboard. That is not covered by your Votacall warranty. Your phone is though. So, all right. So that is our links page. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and get rid of the customer love button there. If you guys miss it, you can always come back. And so Kyle, why don't you want to just tell everybody what we're learning about today?
Absolutely. So we're going to go over and explain what a time frame is. We're going to go over the new enhancements to time frames. Then we're going to jump into the usual myvotacall.com portal and do a little tutorial. We'll create a time frame and apply them as well. So what is a time frame? So time frames are used to manage call flow routing based on a schedule. So for example, we create a time frame perhaps for business hours, holidays, and emergency closing. And as an example, we would apply those time frames to your company main number. So how that works is when people call into your main number is looking at these time frames. If it's anything in holidays, it'll send out, basically create a rule. So if anything's in holidays, it'll send it to perhaps an after hours auto attendant, where you can also do an intro greeting for holidays. If there's anything in an emergency closing schedule, it would send it there. If it's business hours, it'd send it to your business hours rule. Maybe perhaps that's a call queue or a business hours auto attendant. And then there's the default rule, which is if nothing is applied within those time frames, it'll follow the default, which perhaps might be your after hours auto attendant. We can also apply these to the personal level as well, which we're going to show you here shortly. Dan, you want to let us know what those new enhancements are all about?
Sure. So, we had already done a webinar on timeframes, but as you guys know, a lot of you know, I see a lot of folks who actually made it to our last month's webinar, which was on our recent enhancements to the Votacall One solution. So we are constantly listening to clients and, hearing what they have to say about things that they'd like. And doing our best to get all those requests into upgrades to the platform. So one of those was on timeframes, and so we were able to do that. And so it was pretty exciting, especially there's a couple people in mind that come to mind who are really, excited about our recent enhancements. So what are they? Well, we've added recurring holidays. U.S. and international holidays are selectable now, and I'll show you why that matters. Multi-purpose timeframes and custom recurring timeframes. So those two kind of bundle together a little bit, and we'll talk a little bit about how they bundle together and how you can use them moving forward. Again, as we go through this today, we're going to show you a lot of stuff. As we explain to you why we do it, if that seems like something you'd like, throw it into the questions, email support, and we'll get right back to you and help you out. Okay. And so next is, well, so how do I use timeframes? So at the system level, they can be, as Kyle just told you, basically what a time frame is used is it looks at, if a call's hitting you, it says, okay, what should I do with that phone call? And from there, so at the system level, we hit auto attendance, we hit call centers or hunt groups, or we hit incoming call routes. So that would be, like where does it route to? And those are the top two there. And they can be applied auto attendant level. It can be applied to change a message, etc. And then at the personal level, you've got when am I in the office, vacation hours, do not disturb, desk only, forward to mobile, and simmering. Those are just some examples of things that you can do. And we'll show you how you apply those in just a couple minutes. Okay. So we are going to jump into a tutorial, which is actually my time to jump into the, where am I going, Kyle?
myvotacall.com portal.
All right, there we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. I have already logged into the My Votacall portal. So I'm going to go ahead and just start sharing my screen. As I do that, I'm going to go ahead and just turn my camera off just to make sure that I maintain the appropriate bandwidth to handle this for you guys. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some time frames. Now, as I told you, we recently did an upgrade to the platform. And so if you guys, by the way, I am here right now as the office manager. There is also timeframes at the personal level. Kyle is going to show you those in just a couple minutes. But I am here now imagining that I am in charge of the phone system. I am the office manager, and I want to go ahead and manage things for the organization, right? So the old school versions that we had were, we'll skip over the ones that says do not disturb right now, or DND, but we had business hours, which as you can see was a days of the week time frame, which is one of the older time frames we had. The do not disturb one is on always, which is another one of the ones that we used to have. Emergency close with specific dates and holidays with specific dates. So you as a client, if you have a holiday schedule, or if you've ever closed your business for an emergency because of a school closing or a snowstorm or weather event or powers out, etc., then those would be the kind of things that our support team would have built for you, or your project manager would have built for you during our onboarding process. So when you log in now, you will see those would be the types of timeframes that you'll see. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the new timeframes that we've added. But very quickly, we'll just go ahead and take a look at these. So business hours, I'll just click on that. So this is a days of the week timeframe. All right, and so what you can see here is Sundays we're not open, Saturdays we're not open, and then Mondays through Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays we are open from 8 to 5. Okay, if I wanted to adjust one of these, I could just kind of click in here and say, okay, I'm going to be open, let's call it 8 to 6 instead on Thursdays, or maybe on Fridays we're going to split our day up into 2 different shifts. So if I click the little plus here, it actually is going to let me split up the day. So I could say, okay, from 8 to noon, for instance, I'm going to come in and then we're going to take an hour off for lunch. A lot of our doctor's offices will do this. They'll be closed and then they'll run till 5:59 or 6 p.m. And do that here. If you needed to change this says 6 p.m., right? But if you wanted to, you could highlight it and change it to 5:59. Okay. So even though that's not available in the drop down, you can quickly do that. And now what you've got here is you've got the ability to do a recurrence. And so that's every week, or custom. So custom is new. So you could say, okay, I want it to start on a specific date and recur every X amount of weeks and end never. Now, my example for that would be somebody who runs a seasonal business. Now, we happen to have somebody on this call right now who runs a seasonal business. So hello, Carol. But let's say that you have, if you ran let's say a wink, wink pool supply store, and you had a busy season and a lighter season. So what you could do is when you know it's going to be your busy season, or the last week in May, and then through August, you could kind of come in and say, okay, I'm going to create this schedule. I'm going to change my hours. And then I'm going to say, okay, let's run this every 1 week, and we'll end it on a specific date. And then what will happen is it'll go back to your old time frame again. So that would be a way that you could use the recurrence or the custom recurrence on a time frame like this. I'm just going to leave this as every week for now, and I'm actually going to, I'm going to make a change to this. And I'm actually just going to come up here and I'm going to say copy to all. And I just moved that all back to the way it was before. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit cancel now and get out of here. Then now you'll see here, I'm going to skip over do not disturb for a minute. Actually, I'll just jump in. Do not disturb is an always. You give it a name, you say always, and Kyle will show you where these timeframes come in really, really handy in just a little while, especially on the personal timeframe side. Okay, I'm actually going to create a couple more here that he can use as an end user. So as the office manager, I'm going to create a few more that he can use. So I'll just hit cancel. The next two, you'll see your emergency close and you'll see holidays. Again, we've added the ability here to see, when are those? So I can see here, these are the last few times that we were closed. 7/25, there was an emergency. 4/27, and then I've got holidays. So you can see here that we had Memorial Day, we had the 4th of July, Christmas last year, and Thanksgiving last year. Okay, so I'll go ahead and just close that too. Now, if I added another holiday to one of those, I could do that here, but we're going to show you a new way to add holidays that's a little bit more convenient, gives you a little bit more flexibility. Okay. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and click add time frame. So you'll see here that I have all the ones that I used to have, always, days of the week, and specific days, and then the 2 new ones called holidays and custom. So I'm going to go ahead and just do both of these for you. First, I'm going to start with always because I need to prep Kyle for what he wants to do in his demonstration for you guys. So I'm going to add one called forward, which I bet you can guess what we're going to use that for. And then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to add another one called sim ring. And I bet you can guess what we're going to use that one for. And then last but not least, now, I do want to throw a disclaimer in here that you don't with our mobile app, You don't really need to use forward, and you don't really need to use simmering, but there are some examples of times when that might be helpful to you, and we'll review what those are with you in just a little bit. The last always that I'm going to create is one just called desk only, and this is one that people ask us about all the time. Now, it could be mobile only, it could be web phone only. I'm going to do desk only. And you could have home phone only too, right? So, so I'm going to just go ahead and I'm just going to save that. All right, so I've just created those 4, and Kyle will use those in just a couple minutes for you guys. By the way, if I needed to delete one or edit it, I can hit delete here, click here to edit it, or click here to edit it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add, we'll start by just adding the one called holidays. Okay, so I'm going to add a holiday here, and I'm going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to add one called Boxing Day. That is our trivia for today, by the way. If someone wants to let us know what Boxing Day is, added bonus for anybody who can actually tell us what countries it's observed in. And no Googling, by the way. No using Freddie Google. But if you know what Boxing Day is, throw it in there, and we'll grab your name and we'll send you a hat. So let's have a little fun. Okay, so first of all, if I type Boxing Day in here, okay, you're going to see nothing comes up. Okay, and the reason being is that I'm only searching United States holidays. So we do have a lot of international clients, so we do want to make sure that we observe that or we have the same holidays for other countries. You can see there was a lot of countries in there, but I went to United Kingdom, and I'm going to go ahead and type Boxing Day. There are some other countries that I could have gone in and done that for too. And so I've added Boxing Day now. We're going to make that an all day, and then we're going to do a recurrence, and we'll just say yearly on selected holiday, and it never ends. Okay. So I'm going to click next now. And what it's going to do is move over to the observed holiday. And then the rules for Boxing Day are pretty interesting, actually. So if Boxing Day happens on a Sunday, then it's observed on the next workday. If it happens on a Monday, it's observed on the holiday, Tuesday, on the holiday, Wednesday, etc. But you have some choices here. A couple good examples of those choices I'll show you in just a minute. When we do Thanksgiving and we do some Christmas stuff, we'll go ahead and get into that in a minute. But you do have the ability to make some other changes. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. Now, you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, we've got one called holidays, already. All right. So, and then I've now created a specific holiday. So where do those apply? Well, on an auto attendant, for instance, you can say to an auto attendant, I want you to play a different greeting every time there's a holiday. So in other words, if you're a company that when somebody calls in, you or your auto attendant answers, it says, thank you for calling, so-and-so. Well, if you wanted it to be a special greeting, then you might use a specific holiday, like something like Boxing Day. So as soon as they call in, you'd say, happy Boxing Day. The company's closed today, and we'll be back to work on, and you would tell them based on what day the holiday is, et cetera, what day you're coming back in. That would be a custom greeting. Now, there's another way to do holiday greetings, and that's to go ahead and create all of your holidays in one place and just have it just be a message that says, thank you for happy holidays and thanks for calling. The office is closed today in observance of the holiday. Please listen carefully to the following prompts. So you could put something like that in there, and then it's more of like a set it and forget it, right? Like what was that guy's name? Is it Emerald who does set it and forget it? That's another trivia question, I guess, for today, because I don't know the answer.
The cooking guy?
Yeah. Set it and forget it guy. Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do, so that would be a way to do like set it and forget it. So you put your holidays in once, and I'll show you that you can make them recur, and you never have to think about it again. That it'll always be a holiday message playing exactly when you want it to, etc. So I'm going to do that now. And so what I'm going to do is to create holidays, I'm going to call it a custom holidays. And typically, by the way, if you call into us now and this looks good to you and you want to do this, we're going to help you. Our support team has a mandate at this point, if someone calls in and starts talking about timeframes, et cetera, they're going to actually take a look at what you do, talk you through this, and figure out what the best way to do it is moving forward. It may be that what we want to use is this custom one down here. And so I'm going to go ahead and click here, and I'm going to talk to you about why. So you can see now that I've done a custom one, I've got days of the week, I've got specific dates and holidays that I can add all in on this custom time frame. Okay. And so what I can do now is, so I'm going to say I want to add one, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to add a holiday. Well, I told you I'd tell you about the calendar thing and the day and the observance. So we'll start by typing in Thanksgiving, right? So I'm going to find Thanksgiving Day. And so I've added that. And that is from this time to this time. If I wanted it to be multiple times, I could. And then I can say recur yearly on selected holiday, ends never. Right? And I can come up to observed holidays now. And I could say, okay, Thanksgiving is always on which day, everybody? Thursday, right? So, and then what we want to do is we're going to come down and we're going to say, okay, observe it on the holiday only. Well, imagine that you're a business that either closes the day before the holiday or closes the day after the holiday for Black Friday. You could come into here and you could say observe on the holiday on the prior day or observe on the holiday on the next day. Now, so that would actually close you on Thanksgiving and Black Friday. So I'm not going to do that, and I want to show you why in just a sec, but I'm going to go ahead and hit save. All right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click add and do holidays again, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type in, imagine that. I know it doesn't really feel like it should be a holiday because it's like the day when everybody loses their mind at stores, but it is one. We added it as one. So we'll say does not recur here, right? And we'll say next, and it observes on the holiday only, right? So, and so we'll hit save. Okay, so we've now added those two. By the way, you can see when the next dates are that's happening. And you can see that it's pretty late this year, actually. So tucked way in the back there. But it'll also show you the dates that it's happening on moving forward, right? So as soon as I get on that, there we go. All right, so you can see 27th next year, 26th the year after that. My son gets his birthday and Thanksgiving on the same day. He was born on Thanksgiving, so 2027 is something to look forward to. But this will kind of give you the dates that it's happening on. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to show you why we use this custom. Okay, so on Thanksgiving around here, typically we will get out a little bit early on the Wednesday. Okay, now that doesn't happen for everybody. We do, our support team again is 24/7, 365. Stateside award-winning support. And so they will be available to you on Wednesday, but some of our other folks may get out of the office just a little bit early. So imagine you're going to do something like that. So we're going to say specific date, and we're going to come in this year and we're going to say, okay, let's add in November. By the way, look, so here it is. It's the last, remember, because it's the fourth Thursday. So it'll be 27th, and we're going to say starting at 2 p.m., and running for the rest of the day. And we're going to go ahead and do that. Oh, sorry, I forgot to hit plus. I forget to do that every time. I've done this demo like 4 times recently and forget that every single time. All right, so you can say now recurrence every month on the last Wednesday, every month on the 27th, So typically you're just going to say, we're just going to call this one recurrence does not recur because it's almost impossible to do that unless you had like the 4th Wednesday of November, which is not an option. Okay. All right. So we've added that now. Now I'm going to add one more. I'm just going to add Christmas. And the reason is I want to show you one more thing. So I'll come into here and I'm going to say Christmas. Okay, so I'm going to say Christmas Day. And so I'm going to say recurs every year on the holiday, ends never. I'm going to hit next. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is say, okay, if it happens on a Sunday, Christmas, we're going to observe it on the next work day. If it happens on a Monday, Christmas, we're going to observe it on the holiday only. If it happens on a Tuesday, in our company, we're actually going to say we observe it on the holiday and the prior day. Now, the reason is that if we get Christmas on a Tuesday, then we actually stay closed on the Monday too. So we had a nice 4-day weekend there. All right. Wednesday, it's going to happen just on the holiday. Thursday, you guessed it. If it happens on a Thursday, we're going to have it on the holiday and the next day. So we're going to get that 4-day weekend again. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Okay, so there you go. So we've added now, so we've created these custom holidays. And what will happen is if I went to, and I'll just do this quickly, and then that'll be the end of my demo and hand it off to Kyle. He's going to show you his stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over to an auto attendant, and we have one built here. Okay, and I'm going to click on the main auto attendant. Okay, and I'm going to click intro greetings up here at the top of the auto attendant. And you can see we've got one for emergency close already, and we've got one for holidays already. I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of this one because this is using the old holidays schedule. Okay, I'm just going to give that a second to finish saying it's deleting. And then I'm going to add a greeting. Okay, so I'm going to say text to speech. And so we could do a couple different things here. So if you were just doing a set it and forget it, you might say, happy holidays. The office is now closed. And then that's all you really have to write, because on your main menu, it'll say, please choose from one of the following, right? So I'm going to choose the voice I want that to be in. I'm a sucker for this guy named Daniel. I do think it's one of the best voices. It's just a coincidence. But I'm going to choose my time frame now, and I'm just going to say, okay, that's my custom holidays. All right, so that's going to play now on my custom holidays, and I'm going to hit save. All right, so I've got that message that comes in now. If I wanted to hear that greeting, I could just click here and listen to it. Now I'm going to click add greeting again. And I'm going to say, well, you know what? Maybe if I did it the other way and I had all my holidays listed out, and I'll go ahead and I'll say, happy Boxing Day. The office is closed. And then again, the next message plays and says, please choose from one of the following. So again, I choose my voice that I want that to be in, and maybe I want that to be Joanna. All right, so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to look for the specific holiday. So you can create a bunch of different time frames and create a bunch of different messages, or you can just have one that you manage all in one place. Totally up to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save again. All right, and then I'm going to hit done. All right, and so that is now how we're going to use time frames. So I hope that helped. I have not been paying attention to questions, and I've also been rambling on like a crazy person. So I'm not sure if we had any. Kyle?
Not so far. We did have one guess in regards to Boxing Day coming for Philippines, but it is a UK holiday. Kyle from Votacall still curious what Boxing Day is.
Well, I bet the Philippines, there's a chance the Philippines celebrates it.
Could be.
Yeah, it's the empire, as it were, extended long and far at one point.
That is true.
True. So hang on one second, and we'll go ahead and take a peek. So I'll go up to custom holidays, and we'll go ahead and add holidays. Say United States. Philippines.
Oh, you're double checking that.
It is not. It is not in the Philippines. That's one of the options. Yeah, I'm double checking it. It's trivia. We got to get it right. We can't just give away hats.
That's cool.
All right. So I'm going to thank you, everybody, for being here. Again, if you have any questions, please let us know. We're happy to, help you get this stuff set up. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop sharing. Actually, I don't have to stop sharing. Kyle did it already. Stop sharing my screen, and what's going to happen now is I'll jump back on, and Kyle will show you how you can use some of these time frames as from a personal level.
Absolutely. So I'm currently logged in at the personal extension level, and we're going to have these two tabs here, time frames and answering rules. We're going to take a look at time frames. You're going to see all the ones that Dan added. So these are all the system level ones. We have the desk only, the do not disturb, the forward, and the simmering. Now, these are blacked out because they are system created and I cannot adjust them. I can add my own personal time frames as well. So if you don't have these there, you'll see that these are always. So you can hit add time frame, give it a name, and select always and press save. I'm going to add a couple different time frames. I'm going to create a rule for after hours because I like to stay logged into my mobile app 24/7. But after hours, I don't want to have to sign in, sign out. So what I'm going to do is create a rule for after hours and make it go to my voicemail. So this one we'll call work-life balance. Why not? Right? Like the balance between those two. And we're going to do days of the week because we're going to create after hours rules. So I'm going to check Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm going to add my second time frame there. I'm going to have this one start at 12 a.m. and say my work day starts at 8 a.m. and our work day ends at 5. I'm going to make this one go right to 11:59 p.m. And this neat little button here, copy to all, will simply send it right to the rest of those days. Now I'm going to check Sunday, and this one's going to be an all-day thing. So I'm going to select 12 a.m. make this one go to 11:59. Do the same for Saturday. And now I've created my after hours or my work-life balance time frame. I'm going to create one more for vacation. You know what? Maybe every year I take a weekly trip to Disneyland. So we're going to go to Disneyland, and this is going to be specific dates.
Andy's upset with you right now because he's
Why?
like world or land, like world or like world.
Well, which
land.
one are they? Two different things? We'll go to Disney World this time. Is that the one in California? I don't know.
No, you were in California before. Now you've moved down to Florida.
I like Florida. We'll go Florida. So we'll say my weekly trip to Disney World in Florida starts on the 14th of October. And I'm going to have it go right to the Friday. We'll say 11:59. So starting October 14th at 12 a.m. to Friday at midnight. I created that rule. If it is a yearly one that happens in the same time, I could set that to the yearly, but we're going to leave this one as does not recur because I can come in here and update this anytime. I can add additional time frames and so forth. So I click save here. Now we have these time frames. You have to apply these time frames somewhere now and give them a rule for them to take effect. So I'm going to hop over here to my answering rules tab. And you're going to see I have my default time frame. That'll be my active one. But to add them, we're going to click add rule. I'm going to select my time frame. We'll start with do not disturb, and we'll check this little do not disturb button there and click save. You'll see that do not disturb is currently active. All I have to do is drag that beneath default to turn it off. If I want to turn on do not disturb again, I can simply drag that right above default and click save. Once you have this in here, and if you use the mobile app, you'll see that in the answering rules of your mobile app, and you can toggle that right from your mobile app as well. Mm-hmm. So let's add another one. Let's add
web phone as well, folks. While he does the next one, which is going to be, he's going to do desk only. But while he does that, in the web phone as well, you also have a drag and drop for your time frames as well. So if you want to turn your do not disturb on the web phone, you can go to time frames and or answering rules and just slide that to the top, and it'll go active. And then that same behavior is in the mobile phone, which will come in handy in just a second.
Absolutely. So we're going to add one more. We get DND. Desk only. We'll do our forward and have that go perhaps to my cell phone. That's close enough.
That's nicer than yesterday, folks. When we were doing the dry run for this. Oh no, it's on when he goes on vacation. Never mind. I won't blow your joke.
Oh, all right. Thanks. All right. So where these are all always time frames, you have to manually turn them on and off. So if you want to enable them, you're going to drag them right above default and click save. And again, drag it beneath it if you don't want it on. So desk only, I have it set to ring only my desk phone. So if I wanted that on, I'll drag it above default. And therefore, maybe I come into the office. Again, I don't want to have to keep signing in and out of the mobile app. Therefore, I can turn that on. So when I'm sitting at my desk, only my desk phone will ring. SIM ring, so you can set it up to SIM ring, maybe perhaps another extension number or a cell phone number. And same with forward, you have it set up to forward to maybe perhaps a cell phone number. And maybe you'd use those because you're on the road somewhere. You got the mobile app. Me being in Maine, we got a lot of rural spots. Maybe I don't have a good data signal, but I have a good cell signal. So I can easily turn those on right from the mobile app. And therefore calls would SIM ring to my cell phone as well so I can get my calls. I'm going to add my other rules now for work-life balance. And for work-life balance, we're going to have that one just go right to do not disturb. And therefore, when calls come in, it's going to look at this schedule. If there's any dates, if it's after hours, it'll automatically send the call right to my voicemail. Great thing about that, if I got voicemail to email, I can check my voicemail via my email. And I also can log into the mobile app and check my voicemails as well. It's just simply not going to ring my mobile app. It'll go right to my voicemail. And let's add our rule for vacation. So when I go to Disney World, you know what? I'm going to send all my calls to Dan. He's going to cover me. We're homies. So, so there you go. So as soon as October 14th at 12 a.m. starts, my vacation, my Disney World time frame will automatically enable. Calls will automatically go to Dan. Friday at midnight, the rule will automatically turn off and start ringing to my extension as normal. So that is how we use personal time frames.
Okay. Well, we had a question come in. It was just, can you do voicemail to text? And the answer is yes. Carol, happy to help you with that. And then Patty actually asked us, can I change my behavior other than my greeting? Patty's hospital is open 24 hours, but on holidays, they only get the emergency department. I just showed the auto attendant where you apply those rules there. On the incoming call route, that would be where you could adjust, hey, it's a holiday, I want to only move these messages over. So if you guys both, we can reach out to you after this is done, or if you just want to email support@votacall.com, we'd be happy to help you with that. A little tip and trick, by the way, I'm just going to share my screen just for one more second here. Although I may have closed that window. No, I still have it open. Great. So hang on one second. Let's see, share screen. All right, so if I come into here, share. Actually, you know what? I don't have them built like you do, Kyle. So what I'll do is I'll actually come in. I can't mirror you either. Okay. But if I went to my apologies, my account right here, when you get to your main screen of your account, where Kyle just was, he was in the actual answering rules over here. Right. He had jumped into the actual answering rules section of it. And there's only default. So I'll just quickly add one of these two because let's see, I'll add the do not disturb one quick just for the sake of showing you guys this. But again, a little tip and trick. When you first log in, and you don't have to go all the way to answering rules once they're built, you can actually just come right here and you can choose which one. You can see do not disturb is active right now. If I wanted to go back to default, I could just change that there. So again, you can just adjust these answering rules right when you log in. And then you can also do it in the mobile app and also do it in the web phone. Again, so very, very easy for you guys to make those adjustments. And I just wanted to show you that quickly. And then, Carol, just to answer your question, if you come to messages and you go to settings, once you're in the portal, down here at the bottom is your notifications. And if you turn on email notifications, you can do email notifications with an attachment. And then right up here, you've got voicemail transcription, and that can either be enabled or disabled. Again, happy to walk you through that if you want us to afterwards. You can email support. We're always here for you to do that, but it was that quick, so I figured why not just show it to you while we're in there. Okay, let's see. Well, so any questions for us? Anything at all?
Did we go over what is Boxing Day?
No, we didn't. I was going to give people another chance here. See, I mean, someone had to. You know what? You guys may be the most trustworthy bunch ever if you actually didn't go Google. So a Boxing Day historically was it happens on the day after Christmas. Typically, if you were a worker way back when on Christmas, you would have been working supporting whatever family or business that you worked for. So the next day you would typically have off, and then you would be presented with a box that would have a bonus in it or a present for you and your family. Next day you'd go home. So it was called Boxing Day.
Not boxing. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, because most people have to work on Christmas, which doesn't sound like very much fun. That's why we get it off now. But thank you guys for coming. Again, I will just quickly remind you that that we have the customer love page, right there. And if you guys want to click on that and go check it out, it would be amazing. There is no way to make it go away now unless you either hit later or click customer love. So we're going to go ahead, and we learned new features of our system, by the way, of our webinar system. So we're going to bombard you guys with that. We really appreciate you guys, coming and being here as always. It's great to be able to show you guys new features and functionality. If there's anything you want to know about, please let us know. Shoot us an email, put it in the chat, and we'll be, put it in the questions. We'll be happy to grab that. Patty, we will reach out to you when this is over and review what you can do there. That section of the portal is actually pulled away, but if we go ahead and you can create the schedules, and then we can apply it to the incoming call routes. So we'll be happy to show you that afterwards. Again, thank you guys very much. Always great to be able to talk, and to show you guys the portal. We do love the portal. My Votacall portal is pretty powerful. We just want you guys to see that there's stuff there that you can do that may make your life a little bit easier. Maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow. So again, thanks for coming. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.